everyone, Egman here with another video. And today we're going to look at the green Videl Leader, an archetype that comes out in the Cross Spirit set next week. It's definitely an archetype that caught my eye, not only because it's green, but just has like some cool combos and just interactions with skillless cards and just the idea for that. And this is definitely just more of an engine than like a strict archetype in itself. So you can put a lot of different decks in this leader and archetypes from there to make it really your own. And that's kind of like how I like it. I like to have just a leader that just does one thing really well, and then you just kind of base your stuff off of it. So this is my list. I do want to shout out Nick Menard for specifically helping me with this. I was playing this on my stream last night, and there's just like a lot of complex. I didn't play it super well, I'd say. Just learning it for the first 2 hours of it, there's definitely a lot of kind of complex combos and sequencing that you need to do correctly to get the maximum amount of value. So I'd still have to work on that, but in general, I'd say this is a good leader. I think if you want to invest your time and money into it, it is worth it, and you can kind of make it your own, make your own plays, and just kind of go from there. So I don't think this is like a final list. I kind of changed it after every game, and I'd probably still make some more changes. But in general, I think this is a good way to start. And then I'll kind of point out the key cards for the archetype in general, and you can just kind of go from there with kind of what you want yourself. But let's look at the leader. On the front side, it's just auto when this card attacks, draw one. Is also a 5k leader, so that's something to consider. And then auto once per turn. When one of your skillless battle cards is used in a combo, draw one, then add one card up to one card from your life to your hand. So this can work on either player's turn, especially the card from life. So if you're at 5 and your opponent's trying to do something, you can take an extra life. When you combo with something, you can awaken on your opponent's turn and do something with that extra 1 energy if you need to. So that's something you can consider there. I remember doing that and then playing the secret rare and stealing a unison on turn 2. It pretty much won me the game on the spot. So it just feels super good. And also auto spirit boost once per turn if it's your opponent's turn and a skillless battle card with the energy cost of 1 is being used in a combo from your hand. When a skillless battle card with an energy cost of 1 in your combo area replaces its owner's drop area, you play instead, which just means 1, it doesn't get played from Army Healing Pod, which I don't think would have been broken, but I guess they just don't want that to happen. I get it. And then also it's an Awaken to untap 1, draw 1. On the Awaken side, it is a it is a 10k. When this card attacks, draw 1, then you can choose up to 1 of your green unisons in active mode. It did get an errata already. And switch it to rest mode, then add that card's power to this power. So most of our units, all of our unisons are 6Ks. So being able to do that is nice. But if you want to put like some big chunky unisons later, like a big 20k, you can be a 30k swing, and like you can choose to rest them, but dependent on when they counter your attack or not. So if they don't counter your attack, you can say, okay, cool, I'll add this 20k to it, make it 30k immediately. So that's something to consider. And then also auto once per turn, when one of your skillless battle cards is used in a combo, it gets plus 4k combo power for the battle, then draw 1. So that just means that you get the extra boost. Like if you're defending, that 4k is really nice. Also, if you're attacking and you add like one of these 6k to the power of this, if you combo with something, then you just become immediately a 25k, which is really nice for just comboing one skillless card, and you get to draw a card. And then you can also do the auto spirit boost once per turn. It's not just on your turn, it's either player's turn. When a skillless battle card with energy cost of 1, oh my gosh, is when skills battle card and cost of 1 in your combo area replaces its owner's drop area, play it instead, it gets plus 5k power for the turn. So that just means that your combos, if you combo with a skillless card, you get it back too, so you get the free value of another combo later, which is kind of nice. And you get some bodies out, especially if you need like a 5k, and this becomes a 15k if it's on it's on either turn, but you can become a 15k swinger. And 15k is usually pretty good because it just means that you can at least pressure your opponent's leader without having to do any extra comboing, which is nice. So that's just the leader. Obviously, there's just a lot of text. Like it's like half the height of the card of text for everything. But so there's definitely a lot going on. But it's really, honestly, when you get back down to it, it's just really simple. You combo with skillless cards, you gain card advantage, and you get board advantage for doing it too. So that's the idea. Looking at the cards in the deck. So we're looking at kind of like the main cards. Pan Hero's Victory, which is a Champion 2021 Volume 1 promo card. At the end of turn, where your leader activates a blocker skill, add a marker to this card, then add up to 1 green skillless card, battle card from your drop area to your hand. So this auto is really great for this. Then +1 activate at the end of your turn, switch to one of your leader cards that either is mono green or has hero in to activate. It gains blocker until the start of your next turn. So just the idea of being able to give your leader blocker, especially since you want to get into the combo step with this leader because you get card advantage for getting into the card. It's kind of like how launch, the same thing. Like launch, you want to be able to get into your combo step so you can activate your combo cards and everything. So this is kind of like the same idea. And so giving your leader blocker just means if your opponent's trying to swing into your unison like this pan, you can block with your leader, and then you get this auto that you get another marker on your pan for free, and you get a card back to your hand, so you get some card advantage. So very strong there. I'd say the only thing is that if your opponent knows about this and they'll just be like, okay, well, I can't defeat the pan, so I'm just gonna keep swinging to your leader, and then you can't. I don't know. I feel like it can be played around, which is kind of sucks when your opponent knows how to do that. But it's still a good unison in that regard. It just doesn't generate anything by itself. So I think this card's good. But I just feel like it's dependent on if your opponent knows how to play around it. That's kind of my experience with it. Because once again, but on the flip side, this generates just so many tokens and not tokens, but counters on it that you can really spirit boost for the game and not be worried about your having anything on it. So I do like that part of it. I think that's strong. We also have the Great Saiyaman Mysterious Hero. So auto once return if when you remove a marker from this card using spirit boost. Choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with any cost of 2 or less and KO it. So that can be great. We don't have anything specifically in this deck to spirit boost during your opponent's combo phase or anything like that. But our leader does have the spirit boost effect as well. So after a combo you can use it. Active +1, add up to 1 green skillless battle card with any cost of 1 from your deck to your hand, then shuffle your deck. And then auto +0, when this card is attacked, choose up to 1 green skillless earthing card in your hand and use it in a combo, which means that you get some defense for your Great Saiyaman, and then also you're able to get the additional, especially on the Awakened side, so one of your skillless cards is used in a combo, it gets +4 combo power for the battle. That just means that you can combo with this, and it just becomes a 15k immediately, so your opponent would have to swing over that. I didn't get to play this card as much because I was told to go 4-2, but I like Great Saiyaman. I think he's a good unison for it, and I want to try him out some more. It just gets the card advantage, and it's harder to play around this guy. If your opponent doesn't swing into it, then you don't get anything, but that's still also fine in my mind. So that's the idea. I think both of them are good, and I think you should experiment for your own, but you should definitely use at least 4 of one of these. And you definitely want to play these turn 1 because you want these out early. Moving on, we have, let's talk about our skillless ratios. So we have 4 of each of the Videls and 1 Dende. I think the kind of ratio you want is somewhere between 8 and 10. I think that's pretty strong. And then also we do have the extra 2-drop Chilais. This is specifically to play off Great Saiyaman 2 Budding Hero. This card generates a lot of value. We know this card's good, and I think this is just fits right home for this deck. So activate for 1 green, choose one of your skillless battle cards, and it costs 2 or less to enter its owner's hand. Plays this card from your hand. You can't play copies from it the turn. So just being able to cycle back like a 1-drop you played for free to your hand is just more value. To play this is a 15k, and when this card is played from your hand, play up to 1 skillless battle card, and it costs 2 or less from your deck or drop area, then shuffle. So you just, for 1 energy, you get a card back to your hand. You get to play 2 cards. One's a 15k, one's a 20k. You can only do it once per turn, but it's super good, and I highly recommend doing it anytime you can. And so that's kind of the ratios there. We also have this Chilai behind the scenes heroine. Auto, when this card is played from your hand, draw 1, and if your leader card is a heroine card, negate this card's skill for the game. That just means you get to draw 1, and then it becomes skillless. So if you want to combo with it and get your Videl's effects activated, that's fine. I will say it does say negate this card's skills for the game, and kind of an edge ruling for this, and just in general, if a card's skills are negated for the game, they can't gain any skills. So for example, this is a card that Nick recommended for me. It's really good, but it's a little specific, so you gotta watch out for it. But when you combo with this card, choose up to one of your skills battle cards and choose 1. If the chosen card has 10k power or 10 or less power, it gains plus 5k power and critical for the duration of the turn. So you could do this on the Dende, and you swing in with Dende, and then you come with this at 20k crit. Yeah, good value. But this Chilai, it can't gain any more skills, right? So you can give it, it will become a 15k with this pan, so that's an extra, it's an extra 5k power, but it won't gain that critical because its skills are negated for the turn. So I guess one more thing. So for the skill of the Videl, it just checks if the card is skillless. So if you combo with a skillless card from either the battle area or your hand, you still get the boost for it. This additionally means that if you play this Chilai and then you combo it from the battle area, it will still be skillless for the intensive purposes of Videl and getting the combos and everything. So you still get that to work. That's something I wanted to make sure that got checked, and that's how that works. So you don't have to be worried about, oh, is it a battle card in my hand when I combo it? No, it's been ruled that works out. So you can just pitch, a combo card from your hand and get that effect. Moving on, I'd say this Videl, the super rare from the set, is also pretty good. So blocker limit 1. For 1 green, if you have the green skills card in play, when your opponent attacks, play this card from your hand. So you get to play this for 1. And then if your leader cards are green are heroine, when this card is played from your hand, your opponent may choose 2 cards in a hand, discard them. If they don't, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards, then it costs 7 or KO it. So I think with just the idea of this, there is a kind of the idea of a really strong archetype for hand destruction. My only thing about this is that you have to have a skillless card out, which can be a little bit tricky because they're so poppable. There's so many cards that just say, oh, pop a 1 or 2 drop just randomly. And so they're like, well, I used this card to do this, but I guess I'll just pop your skillless card anyways. And then you're like, oh, cool, I can't play this anymore. So that kind of sucks. But it is super powerful, though, for what it is. And being able to discard 2 or pop a card for 1 energy is really good. It's just the timing for it can be a little bit awkward. And that's kind of what I've seen from playing it. And your opponent can kind of play around it too if they know this card exists, which people will. And if they can just say, well, if I'm afraid of this card, I'll just pop all your skillless cards and then you can't play it anymore. And you're like, oh no, that's the one thing I wanted to do. So just watch out for that. What else is there? I think everything else is just kind of tech. There's also this Gohan, Glimpsing Potential. So if your leader card's heroine, when this card's played, play up to 1 green skillless card. It costs a 1 from your deck, then shuffle your deck, then choose 2 of your skillless battle cards to get plus 5k power for the turn. So this is okay value. It's kind of like a less good Great Saiyaman 2 in a lot of ways. So, but you do get to play a card for free. They do get plus 5k power. And it's good value there. Also activate main limit 1 if your leader card's hero card and you have 2 or more green energy. Choose 1 of your green Yusin cards with 6k power and a marker on it. Place this card underneath it from your hand or battle area. Add a marker to the chosen Yusin card, then draw 1. I don't know why it specifies and a marker on it, because if it doesn't have a marker on it, it dies. But maybe there's something crazy coming up, I guess. But being able to just cycle it and add a marker to it for free is good. So I think just having that in the deck in general is not terrible. And then everything else, Frieza is great because it is what it is, and we're gonna get these unisons out, and they're gonna be pretty healthy, pretty easily. And then Dormant Potential. So there's also the new green Topa that came out in the set, the new Boo, and I like it, but I don't love it. And in general, we still want to get into our combo step. So just having Dormant Potential, just say, okay, well, we negate the amount of swings we get. And being able, we also just gain a bunch of card advantage with this deck, so being able to -1 isn't terrible. There's also some weird times I want to get a 1-drop to my drop area, and if I combo with it with Videl, I'd want to play it for free to get the advantage of it. So just being able to ditch a 1-drop, just because with Pan, the auto, you get to add that 1 green skillless card. So if you don't have one, you can't get 1 back. So I don't know, that's just something I noticed, but. I think Dormant's good. In general, Dormant's good if you want to get in your combo step, but you also have a lot of card advantage. So I think this is kind of a good reason to run Dormant. If you want to play another hard negate, I think that'd be worth it. You can also play the what is it? Oh, I forgot the name of it, but it's the 2-drop green, or it's the green one that you could play a token with blocker on it. I think that's also worth playing, especially since the token will become skillless as well, once it loses its blocker's ability. So I think that's worth experimenting with as well, just because it does gain that extra advantage or synergy with the deck. And I think that's the main card. Some additional tech cards. So one, I just played for this Great Saiyaman because we wanted to be able to draw 2, and even though we cycle a lot, we want to be able to find our pieces. So he was really helpful for doing that. Rosie I really like as a card, just because, you know, turn 3 we can just hard cast this for 3, make your opponent discard 2, and then if we need to like pressure Unison or anything else, I think Rosie's really great at that. So it's just good. There's definitely an argument to make the deck like just a hard card advantage one, and I know that's what Nick's been working on, and that's kind of what he showed me. So if that's kind of more of your jam, which I mean it's my jam, but I want to just try the, you know, archetype in itself, that can have some potential. I like Belmont in this deck just because you play a lot of skillless cards, so and it's you know, it pops something as well. This Gohan is also great, just paying him for 2, get a deflect unique double strike, and then being able to pop a card or even remove a marker from your unison, or your opponent's unison, can be really impactful sometimes too. So I like that. I think that's really it. This Secret is great. If you play it right, you just win the game, per usual. Being also able to just end the turn from battle card swings is great. Being able to steal your opponent's unison is great, and being able, you know, a 40k double striker is really great too. So I think you definitely want to run him. I think he's the unison you want to use. You can also run the heroines one as well if you want to, but we don't have like a lot of good heroine cards. I mean, I guess we have this. Wait, is this a heroine? No, it's not. So I don't. Yeah, it's not, right? I don't think. Oh, it is. Okay, sorry. It's way tiny right there. Okay, it is a heroine. So we can play that, and we can play this Videl. Does the secret rare? Does the secret rare? Choose any number of heroine cards in your hand with an energy of 5 or less and different card names. Add up to 10 or less and play them. Choose up to 20 of those cards against +5. So like, I guess you can. So I guess if you have the heroines, you could play is what you could play this Videl, and then you could play the Rosie, and then you could get both these guys out. This is from hand, and then this is from hand as well. So you can play both, and then you can make your opponent discard at least 2 or 4 and make them pop something too. So that's something. These are also heroines, so you can just play these for free from your hand. And I guess this Chilai is a heroine too. Oh, that's cool. Nice. Okay, that's good. And then also this one is for sure. So anyways, I'm stalling now. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you guys think. Let me see your builds and your ideas for this deck. In general, I think the skillless archetype can just be a really good engine, and I think this build doesn't have like a good win condition, and that's kind of like the big thing with heroines I've noticed in general. They have a lot of ways to generate a lot of value, but they have a hard time just having like a big win turn sometimes. So I think that's something that I would want an address to, but otherwise I think it's a lot of fun. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you all next time.